Most people think working more means earning more respect, but these 8 countries flipped that completely, and one gives 15 hours of free time a day. And the difference isn't money, it's how they design life itself. Here are 8 countries that have built that system better than anywhere else on Earth. Starting with Finland, 7 years in a row. That is how long Finland has held the title of the happiest country on the planet. 7 consecutive years. And when you dig into why, it stops feeling like a coincidence and starts feeling like a blueprint. Finnish workers receive around 30 paid leave days per year, plus some of the most generous maternity leave policies in the developed world. But the number that really stands out is this. The average Finn enjoys over 5 hours of daily free time, not on weekends, every single day. Finland ranked number 1 on the 2025 Work-Life Balance Index, and it did not get there by accident. The culture actively discourages overwork. Leaving the office on time is normal. Taking your full leave is expected, not frowned upon. Productivity is measured by output, not hours spent staring at a screen. There is one thing most people overlook about Finland, though. The winters are brutal, dark, cold, and long. So the mental health infrastructure and the generous leave system are not just nice additions. They are functional necessities in a country where surviving winter requires real community and real rest. But if darkness is the one trade-off in Finland, the next country on this list has somehow managed to solve that problem too. Denmark. If Finland is the happiest, Denmark is quietly the most rested. The Danish workforce is consistently ranked as the least sleep-deprived in the world. That alone says something significant about how the country operates. Danish workers receive 36 days of paid leave annually. That is more than most countries give in 2 years. And when researchers looked at how much daily free time Danish citizens actually enjoy, the number came back at 15.7 hours per day. That is not a typo. Overwork in Denmark is not just rare, it is culturally alien. The concept of hygge, which roughly translates to a feeling of cozy well-being, is not just a design aesthetic for candles and blankets. It is a genuine social value embedded in how people structure their time. Work ends and life begins. That boundary is respected. Denmark has also become one of the top remote work destinations in Europe, attracting digital nomads who want a high-functioning infrastructure with a laid-back pace. The downside that often goes unmentioned: the tax rates are among the highest in the world. Workers keep less of their gross salary than in most other developed nations. Still, Denmark consistently proves that money retained matters less than time well spent. Which brings us to a country that takes the parental leave conversation to a completely different level. Norway. Norway offers 49 weeks of fully paid parental leave, nearly a full year. And that is not just for mothers. The system is structured so that fathers are actively encouraged, sometimes required, to take a dedicated portion of that leave themselves. The idea is that balance at home creates balance at work, and Norway has built policy around that belief. The average Norwegian works a 32.6-hour week. Meanwhile, only 1% of Norwegian workers exceed 50 hours per week. 1%. Compare that to countries where working 60-hour weeks is treated as a badge of honor, and the contrast becomes almost surreal. Norway leads the OECD in work-life balance metrics, and it has done so consistently. The country's oil wealth has helped fund a social system that genuinely supports its citizens, but the culture itself places real value on time away from work. Here is something most people miss about Norway. The work week being shorter does not mean productivity suffers. Norwegian workers are consistently among the most productive per hour in the world. Less time in the office, higher quality output. That relationship keeps showing up across the data. But the next country on this list takes a completely different approach to proving that less work equals better outcomes. New Zealand. New Zealand has ranked as the #1 country for life-work balance for 3 consecutive years, scoring an impressive 86.59 on the Global Balance Index. That score accounts for safety, lifestyle quality, working conditions, and overall citizen well-being. Workers in New Zealand receive 32 days of paid leave, and new mothers are entitled to 26 weeks of maternity leave. But what makes New Zealand genuinely unique is the combination of lifestyle access and professional flexibility. This is a country where you can finish work and be hiking through a national park, surfing a world-class break, or sitting on a near-empty beach, all within a short drive. The safety ranking is worth mentioning too. New Zealand consistently places among the safest countries on Earth, which contributes directly to quality of life in ways that are hard to quantify but easy to feel. Which country would actually make the list of places to move? Drop that in the comments right now, because the next few entries might change the answer completely. If making the move to any of these countries is on the radar, checking flight options through the Kiwi link in the description is a straightforward way to compare prices and routes. At this point, it might seem like all of these countries are similar. But the next one completely changes the equation, because it's not about time, it's about money. Luxembourg. Luxembourg is small, it is landlocked, most people cannot immediately locate it on a map, and yet it holds the highest minimum wage of any country in the world, sitting at approximately $2,549 per month for every worker, regardless of sector. That financial baseline changes everything about the balance equation. When the floor is high, the stress of basic living costs drops significantly. Workers are not grinding multiple jobs just to make rent. That breathing room translates directly into personal time and mental health. Luxembourg workers receive 37 paid days off per year, and the maximum legal work week is capped at 48 hours. Worker protections here are exceptionally strong, backed by European Union law and national policy that takes enforcement seriously. There is a tension worth noting, though. Luxembourg has a very high cost of living to match those wages. Housing prices in the capital are among the most expensive in all of Europe. So the high minimum wage and the high cost of living are in constant conversation with each other. Still, the structural protections, the leave entitlements, and the financial floor make Luxembourg one of the most worker-friendly environments on the planet. And if Luxembourg focuses on financial protection, the next country on this list leads the world in something arguably more valuable: raw time off. Austria. Austria holds a remarkable distinction. It is globally ranked #1 for total paid time off when combining annual leave and public holidays. Austrian workers receive 25 days of annual leave plus 13 public holidays, bringing the total to 38 paid days away from work each year. Think about what 38 days actually means. That is nearly 8 full working weeks every year where no one in Austria is expected to be at a desk. That is structured, legally protected rest built directly into the calendar. Austria is also consistently ranked among the safest countries in the world, with high-quality public infrastructure, excellent healthcare, and a culture that values both professional achievement and personal time. The cities are clean, connected, and walkable. The countryside is extraordinary. Would trading a higher salary for more guaranteed time off make sense? That is the exact trade-off Austria is offering, and millions of people there have said yes without hesitation. The one tension point in Austria is the cost of living in major cities like Vienna, which has become increasingly expensive compared to a decade ago. But Vienna also regularly tops global rankings for quality of life, so the cost often reflects genuine quality rather than artificial inflation. Austria proves that time is the resource most people underestimate, and the next country on this list has quietly built an entire economy around that idea. Netherlands. The Netherlands has quietly become one of the most advanced models of work-life balance design in the world. The average Dutch worker clocks around 32 hours per week. Not because the economy is weak. The Netherlands has one of the strongest and most export-driven economies in Europe. Because the culture has decided that 32 hours is enough. The Dutch workforce has some of the highest levels of part-time employment in the developed world, and importantly, part-time work is not stigmatized. Men work part-time at significant rates. Parents split childcare more evenly. The entire structure of working life is designed around flexibility rather than face time. Then there is the cycling culture. The Netherlands has more bicycles than people. Cities are designed around human movement rather than vehicle movement. The daily commute for millions of Dutch workers is a 15-minute bike ride through a flat, safe, and beautifully maintained cycling infrastructure. That alone removes one of the biggest daily stress points in modern urban life. Quality of life scores for the Netherlands remain consistently high across every major global index. Inclusivity, safety, healthcare, and social infrastructure all rank near the top. For those planning extended stays or relocations to any of these countries, checking accommodation options through the Expedia link in the description can help with early planning. The Netherlands makes balance look effortless, but the final country on this list makes it look like a celebration. Spain. Spain does not just offer work-life balance. Spain offers a philosophy of life that other countries are only beginning to explore. The siesta, long lunch breaks, late dinners, outdoor social culture. These are not inefficiencies. They are features of a system built around human rhythm rather than corporate calendar. Spanish workers receive 36 paid leave days per year, and overwork is genuinely uncommon. Only 1% of Spanish workers exceed 50 hours per week, matching the figures seen in Norway. Maternity benefits are strong, and the country has been actively experimenting with shorter working weeks at a national policy level. The lifestyle access in Spain is extraordinary. World-class food culture, centuries of history, warm Mediterranean climate for much of the year, a social fabric where community and shared meals are treated as non-negotiable parts of daily life. There is one common perception worth challenging here. Spain is often dismissed as economically underperforming compared to northern European nations. But when the measure shifts from GDP to citizen well-being, the picture changes dramatically. Spaniards consistently report high life satisfaction, strong social connections, and a deep sense of belonging. Spain proves that balance is not just about policies on paper. It is about what a culture actually values when the workday ends. Now, stepping back across all 8 countries, a few extremes stand out clearly. For raw free time, Denmark leads with 7 hours of daily personal time and 36 days of annual leave. No other country comes close to that specific combination. For financial floor and worker protection, Luxembourg holds the edge with the world's highest minimum wage and 37 paid days off, backed by ironclad legal protections. For parental leave specifically, Norway's 49 weeks of fully paid leave is in a category of its own. For overall life quality and lifestyle access, New Zealand's 3 consecutive years at the top of the Global Balance Index is hard to argue against. And for pure time off measured in calendar days, Austria's 38 total paid days is the global leader. If an eSIM is needed when arriving in any new country to stay connected from day one, there is a Saily eSIM link available in the description below. Here is what all 8 of these countries share beneath the surface. None of them treat overwork as a virtue. All of them have built legal structures that protect time away from work rather than leaving it to the goodwill of individual employers. And all of them have social cultures that reinforce those protections through genuine peer expectation rather than just legislation. The global conversation about work-life balance has been growing louder for years. Burnout rates are climbing. Mental health is a crisis in many high-performing economies. And yet the countries on this list have been quietly running a different experiment for decades, and the results are in. But here is where things get interesting. There is one country that did not make this list. One that is quietly building a model that combines elements of financial strength, cultural investment in rest, and structural policy reform in a way that researchers are only beginning to track properly. It is not one of the obvious Nordic nations. It is not in Western Europe. And its trajectory over the next 5 years puts it on a direct collision course with every country covered today. That story is worth following closely, because the definition of work-life balance is still being written, and the countries that figure it out first will attract the most talented, most mobile, and most selective workers in the world. If that kind of content is valuable, subscribing means never missing the next piece of the picture.